Yo. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Alright, I'm gonna do some analysis today. So BTC from a one-day perspective, we are at significant highs right here. I could see these highs getting broken pretty soon here. Judging by the weekly, holding pretty well. We're pretty much trading at the middle of the weekly candle that we printed thus far, and we're approaching the weekend price action. Super close to the highs, super close to the lows. You get the same invalidation either way you go over here. So to me, this is for sure a chop level. But that being said, we did see a violent move up recently, so I don't see a reason to be super bearish and to be looking for shorts, which is why I'll be looking for longs. Alts definitely see a weird reaction on these drops. So that being said, I definitely did have a good bid for SOL that I missed. ETH was pretty choppy yesterday, but we're gonna take a look at all of that. Seeing where BTC closes here intraday for me, I want to see a 30-minute close back above that candle that rejected violently above these highs. I think this is a good level to start looking for longs. The 4-hour I want to see closed above this level as well. I have a different chart painted here with a good box to cover. These are around these previous highs here. Back in July. I think if we start to close 4 hours back above, we could start to push for all-time high again. We see significant reactions from this level when 4 hours do close above it, so I want to see that happen. And then probably get long on some alts, judging by the reactions they're having thus far. We saw ETH at 45.11 today already, and we're back approaching that high. So I'm just going to run through that really quick. I want to talk about BNB because I think it's a coin to get good exposure on, just judging where from. And I'll break down higher time frame to lower time frame as well. Damn, BTC had a really good pump this morning. $700 pump by the time I got on stream. It's crazy. So this level is above this monthly high here. Say slightly above. Above that monthly high is where we want to see closures. We've already gotten a closure above it a few times. So as far as higher time frame, you know, monthly candle wise, we still have a lot of time left in the month. And we opened up flat, which is always up and down. We didn't quite retest where I wanted on ETH at around that 43.80 level. Granted, I was long yesterday at 44.60 to 44.70. It did go under and filled the levels perfectly that I had planted for yesterday's intraday play, but I want to stick to more of a higher time frame basis when it comes to this chop here, and that's what I'm going to be going over right now. I want to set some plans for BTC and ETH. What are your guys' plans right now? What do you guys think here? I appreciate you, Ish, my boy. You're the man. I appreciate those that have been here forever, honestly. That means everything. It was not a trade either. I take pride in my risk management, by the way. Definitely was not my trades. SOL, man. SOL just missed our level too. That was sickening, bro. Damn. 4% bounce. That's nice in this little chop here. I thought we would get down to these lows and sweep them. I didn't think we would hold so aggressively. And I'm not up to watch these moves. A lot of these good moves happen around Asia time, so for sure an adjustment on my part, but we've targeted the liquidity intraday. We either had this liquidity to get swept or this liquidity to get swept, and we chose to get the highs taken out today already. Again, this is a good level here on the higher time frame. I want to see us start to close back these lower time frame candles and then see what happens. Maybe we get a good little retest pullback like this. The hourly just opened about 18 minutes ago. Maybe we start to consolidate it back above here, and it gives us a re-entry in this blue box, which for me would be a bid intraday. Resistance up by 124.5. We want to see us start to close back above here. If we start to close back above here, I think we're just going to take all-time high out pretty quickly, even before the weekend. We are approaching weekend price action. Granted, we are in the middle of the week. Wednesday is almost, is being decided right now. Wednesday price action is already happening. We're in the midst of it here. So for Ethereum, looks like we're playing catch up to BTC here. $45.60 for me would be a potential short level. Let's see here in a second. Maybe we'll do some live trading here. Damn. Higher time frame is always the time to go, guys. I tell you this all the time. I gotta listen to it for myself too every now and then. Higher time frame is always the time. I'm gonna take a look at hype. I'll take a look at all the recent coins. Higher time frame is always the way to go, man. That intraday chop has been so brutal lately. So brutal. Yeah, if we get this one day close back above where we're trading right now, I think that's a good sign. I think that's a good sign for all-time highs to get taken. I think that you just got to think liquidity from this aspect of the market here. Are we going to take the lows out or the highs out first? And clearly we're pumping up before taking out these lows. I think we've already flipped back to Monday low. This is where we got stopped at yesterday, so we're looking to flip back to Monday low. Maybe the Monday low could be an entry around 123, but we've already retested that intraday, and we're seeing it start to bounce above it while retesting supply here on the lower time frame. So for BNB, I still think that something like this is possible. I don't think that it's gonna have a super aggressive move. Granted, it was very strong recently. I think that it'll get a move back down into this range here, maybe around 12.30 down to these highs that are on 11.90. I think this will be a good bid level for BNB. I think you get a good invalidation below these lows here. Anybody that scooped up entries here, I think should be good. And I think anything on BNB chain should continue to go crazy at around these levels. So I'll be setting a limit for this and just be targeting higher around like 1500 psychologically should be a good level to bid. Judging by BNB's past moves, it should give a steady move up. Put my invalidation right under those lows. Maybe we get something like this. Maybe we get a high sweep and then a move back down. I think having plans for strong coins like that on significant pullbacks can do wonders for your accounts. And I'm trying to do wonders for my account right now too. So in last stream, I did a lot of educational. I think today I just want to go over and analyze things, see what's happening lower time frame. If there's anything to be had as far as plans go, see maybe is there FOMC this week or is that end of the month? Maybe check some liquidity. So it looks like Powell's speaking tomorrow. Nothing crazy. Columbus Day, so we have a 3-day weekend. So we could see some fuckery price action. We're at 124. Wow. BTC is pumping, bro. Pumping. If you're not in BTC right now, I would just look to bid here. See how the 4-hour closes. If the 4-hour closes above this box here, I think just looking for an entry in the middle would be good. So I'll be looking for this. I think we're going to tap like 124.5. And I think ETH can be a good short at around this black box here. Either that or we start pumping up to these highs and we look for lower time frame price action short maybe. Damn, this kind of sucks. I took a loss yesterday just to close this out. Ups and downs as a trader, man. What would make 120K be acceptable? I think if we go down to 120K from here, I think if we go down to that's a good question. I don't think 120K should be a bid level. I think psychologically, we should have retested it already. We retested the range. So I look at those psychological levels as ranges. If 120 didn't hold, or if 120 didn't test, we retested close to 120. So we've already retested these highs. And this is where structure broke, technically. But that's a deviation when you look in hindsight. So that's structure, deviated, retested the highs. And it got close enough to 120 for it to be considered a 120K retest. If it got anywhere under 120K, and it didn't hold like right here, I would say anywhere below this low, which pushed the price up, would have taken the price down here back into the 118s, 117s. And then I thought that was going to be a good bid. Originally, I wanted that one-day demand around 115, but then I moved it back up to 118, 117, and I didn't get that, so I tried longing yesterday, and I just got chopped up, basically. So, judging by that analysis, I think something like this is good. If price wants to come back, retest 122.8, which is where my average was yesterday. Was that my average? Wow. My average price was 122.8. What happened in the market in the last day? Jeez, bro. Yeah, so I was literally just rebidding this box. We deviated my entry. So I'm just looking to rebid my entry at this point. But we've chopped around my entry already. Liquidity got taken to the upside. So I guess just see how price action progresses from here to get some entries in. It's probably a plan of action on my side. Anything lower time frame is pretty much just entering late, targeting tight. Like Ethereum for me could pop up to 45.92. I think that's a good level to short with your invalidation above 46.40. So I don't want to enter there and get chopped up not TPing here. Not wanting to enter a short there because I'm in profit. We are seeing a good level hold for ETH though. I like that we are holding this level. Makes me think that we got a good couple months. Makes me think that October closes pretty strong. I think BNB as well, judging by the pump here, that not really overshadowing any alt here. I think we could get this entry, something like the top end of this bid. On hype, we pumped a little bit back up. I think that hype, Aster, Apex, coins like that we spoke about the other day, I think can do pretty well. I think intraday for leverage, it's just a very choppy zone for a lot of them. Hype, I pretty much just have my levels above these highs. And judging by the levels, you can see how price reacts. I think it's important that when you are looking at these intraday entries around these levels, especially when price is already broken through them, you want to see how they react, and these levels are reacting. We're trying to flip the bottom end of this 45.80 level. So for me, we're in supply intraday. We're rejecting the bottom end right now. So I want to see what happens with hype. I am interested in getting a hype entry. I'm just not sure where from. We're trying to flip back above this level, obviously, but the 1 day still has yet to close. This 1 day could still close red. It's trading right under this top level of supply on the 1 day, which if we don't close above, I would just target right back to the bottom of it. But if we do close above it, I'll look for an entry back up to the 50s. So that's my plan for hype in general, especially with BTC pushing here towards resistance at around 124.5. Right now under it. I like to just picture a lot of these higher time frame candles here. Seeing what could happen on the higher time frame can help judge your intraday opinion of the market, thus helping you form a much better bias, much better, cleaner bias. What's up, Bryce? How you doing, buddy? Any thoughts on Tal? I'll take a look at it. Rob, you play supply and demand if I'm right. You are right. Nody, my boy, you're killing shit, bro. Keep it up. I'm gonna take a look at XPL, my brother. What's up, Ian? How you doing? Probably play supply and demand if I'm right. Deviation matter. Yeah, the deviations are good. Like how I always explain a supply and demand zone, it's a significant level, and you should always play things as you would any confluence, and your risk matters, obviously all that stuff. But if a demand level gets broken down under, like, let's just like take a random look. Wow, ETH is pumping crazy, bro. Wow, I'm shot. ETH played out perfectly, dude. Congrats if you held that ETH position. I am such a fucking wuss. Yeah, it's all pumping hard. Had a bottom snipe there, just missed by a little bit. It's already up $11 from that level. That's crazy work. Hype hasn't pumped yet. Pumped a little bit. I want to see hype close back above 48.30 on the weekly, and then I think it's just going to go take the highs, so I'll just be patient for that. SDBL is also kind of within that level we were trading. I think XPL is probably way down deep. XPL is actually at the level we traded in. This is not a bad level for it to pump off of. As long as it continues to hold this level, I think it's a good level to trade it. And judging by people getting super bullish every time it pumps, probably liquidity to take to the upside. Might be a good coin to catch a scam pump on, honestly. Wow. SOL really played me. So I was explaining about deviation and shit. Alright. Alright. So if I have a chart like Aster and I'm looking for a demand level, let's just replay this back a little bit. So if I'm looking for a level of demand, like your level of demand is a 4 hour there. Let's look at a different coin. Alright, so Hype is a good example. So when I'm looking at the Hype chart here, I'm looking for a good level of demand for price to retest for when it pulls back, so that I'm ready to bid and play a certain block the way I want to when price comes to intraday, so that you're able to make moves. You don't want to be making moves outside of these like levels. So what do I mean by that? Like when price comes down to this level, either you're looking to put your limits up in it, or you're looking to see how price reacts, judging by whatever confluences you use, seeing what type of liquidity has to get swept to the downside if we were to test that. What liquidity got swept to the upside first before we pump back up. And seeing what RSI reads and how it reacts around these levels. So obviously when we went to this 4 hour level of demand, we nuked straight through, which is why I always recommend to leave a looser stop, not to play stops directly below so you don't get taken out of these plays. But when you're reading a deviation like that, like why would you enter a 4 hour demand zone like this? Mostly because of what's happening intraday, the reversals you potentially see happening in the chart intraday. If you think we're going to test liquidity to the upside intraday, because this is all lower time frame price action. But you have confluences to help you out. You have an easy invalidation below here. We retested an intraday level of demand here on the hourly. So that's a good confluence for you to say, you know, if we're going to hold this level, we should do it below these lows. We shouldn't be retesting again. And if we're going to retest, we should go to sweep. Because this is the logical level. If you're playing demand, there's multiple time frames to play it. And I'm just judging by if I'm not in the play at that demand retest. So we've already tried to take that level back prior. We printed a higher low on that retest intraday, and you could enter along around these levels with your invalidation below these lows or a short above these highs. I think that moving in the upwards direction should be a place to target though, judging by the level we're playing in, which is this 4-hour level of demand that got blown straight through. Intraday, we didn't quite sweep these lows. We retested this 1-hour demand, which is just below that 4-hour, so that could have easily been a fake out. The RSI on the 1 hour was oversold. We retested and printed a higher low on the price. Intraday, on the 15-minute, we're looking to reclaim the RSI, trying to flip the 50 after previously being rejected and printing that higher low. So I'd say this is a long more than a short. That's how I would like play these levels, bro. Like there's not a lot of rhyme to reason, and you could take losses before you take wins and so on and so forth. But it's all about playing a specific level and just trusting that that level is going to react eventually. You might be right, you might be wrong, but eventually price reacts around these levels, especially on the higher time frame. They might take longer to react, like we've seen in recent price action. They might chop you out before they keep you in. You know, everything isn't going to happen when you want it to a lot of the time. But ultimately, that's why it's like important to have your directional opinion on the market. If it's macro, if it's intraday, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that you're playing your levels when you see fit. You're taking risk when you see fit. Eventually, this level's gonna flip. See what I'm saying? Like, eventually this shit flips. That's why intraday trading and scalping is so, like, taxing on the mind, because eventually your level's gonna be right. Just a matter of when. And it's about playing the right time. So, like, here you wanted it to go up, but it didn't. And then if you're not playing the market here, you're just missing the play. But it shows good levels to play. So at least when price is in these levels, you know to react. If that's the type of trader you are. There's a lot smaller, like smaller time frame demands that print on the daily as well. So that was a 4-hour level. The 4-hour levels react a lot more violently. What I love about these levels is that it shows you that you don't always have to be right. It shows you that there's somewhere to play in the market. There's something to do, but where from? And you make that decision. Like, if I wanted to play this hourly demand here that we broke through previously, and I wanted to ape in a position because I'm not in right now on hype, and I want to be patient, maybe a little bit patient intraday, I get some good confluence, trusting maybe a higher low in a retest of this level, right? If maybe we get a rejection on BTC soon, hype wants to reject a little bit here, come down here. Maybe these lows do not get swept. We can put our invalidation at 45.75 and then target some highs here at 48.80. That's another way to look at things. Yeah, I think that's a good way to explain it. I think that's a good way to explain it. So let's take a look at total 2. Total 2 is flipping back above this 169 level that I had. Psychologically, I think that's a good level of resistance. This is also the significant high that printed there before the rejection initially, back in July, I believe that was. So as long as we do hold above, anticipation means everything on that. That candle closed above. You had to anticipate that flipping. I was trying to anticipate that on ETH yesterday. Granted, it did give you multiple chances to enter today. That all is just intraday chop. Ignore the chop is what I would say, and you'll be fine. And I do think that there's going to be good interest to be had. I think that we've been chopping around enough to show that maybe there's going to sweep. There could still be a sweep down to 118, 117 levels. there can still be a pushback up to all-time high, but in between, there's levels that can help you make decisions that you otherwise would have not made previous. So ETH is so far rejecting around that 45.60 level we painted. I would say that's the level to flip in order to get back up to 46.40 intraday. I haven't seen how many liquidations have been taken yet. I haven't really looked at that. That's something I like to look at too intraday. Whenever I'm trading, you know. Anybody in positions? I got this recorded too, so what up, Bull? How you doing, bro? Good to see you. I appreciate you, bro. Let me know about any short position. I'm really just looking. I'm not even looking to react off anything now. I think we're just chopping around enough to... Sorry. What's up, Drewski? SOL, I wanted 216.85 so bad. Like, I just wanted that number. I don't know why. We had a good hourly divergence print down by the top end of this level. We are retesting that 226 level that we posted up earlier. That's the break of this previous structure. Right below Monday low. We see ETH above Monday low. So that's one thing to note, is that ETH is a little bit stronger than SOL, but SOL's having a bigger balance intraday relative to ETH. So that definitely can be a sign for some SOL strength, which we all know what that means. If I'm looking for an intraday SOL entry, looks really good on the lower time frame here. Looks like it wants to continue and break, maybe follow ETH. I would look for this demand here at 225.25 if you want a tight intraday entry. I think you could play something like this. If we do reject here and we don't flip, whether it happened like this or whether it just happened from here, then I think we do have a shot at retesting, maybe deviating my entry a little bit that I want, and then a flip back above. So I think there's a few scenarios you could play. We're obviously at resistance. BNB is strong. BNB is very strong. One side's going to get taken on BNB soon. One side. And it's either this side or it's this side. So it's a coin flip. But ultimately, I do think that it's not a coin flip really. You get a better return on the long side than the short side, which again makes me think it chops around. So even if you aren't getting like a top or bottom position here, it just makes you chop yourself up. Like there's no logical position here if you're looking to market enter BNB right now. If you are patient, I do think that you could get a good retest below these lows. I think you get a retest around any of these lows. And I do think that being patient for BNB can do wonders. I've seen it happen before. And I'll be patient. I'll place a limit for that one for sure. Hype, we're already seeing a rejection back below Monday low here on this pump. We talked about a scenario here, right? Just a second ago. Let's see how that scenario plays. I think I have to cook it up again. So, what was we saying? Oh, yeah. So, there was that hype demand block. Right? That choppy level. Somewhere. Okay, this is a good example. So there's a 4-hour level of demand that was here. I don't think it was that strong. I mean, it was strong enough to push price up to all-time high on this push down, so it was strong in that sense. It does look like a good bid level. If we were to close the 4-hour around here, maybe stronger than this, maybe like around 46.80, I think this would be a good retest level around 45.24. Maybe just place bids for that level on hype. It already retested a bunch. Price has already reclaimed above that level. But if we do test it again, I think that's a good level to bid. Granted, we got some lower time frame closers above. Lower time frame, that's what we said. We said, what was it, this one? I guess a retest around this demand level. That's all strong. XPL is also a good coin that is trading around a demand level. I'm not a good coin, but a good example of a coin trading around a good demand level here. These are the only two levels of demand that printed on XPL here on this impulsive move up. And I like to think about a level of demand as an impulsive move up for a reason. It impulsively moved up because people were willing to bid for that move up. We've already scalped XPL a few different times. It retested the golden pocket there on that pullback. It's trading back above the Monday low. I don't hate this play. I just don't see the volume coming in on this play right now relative to the other coins. Maybe we see a rotation back into it if BTC wants to chop around without rejecting. But BTC is looking pretty strong. I guess the only thing to do is just to watch XPL right now. Because on leverage, I feel like you could get destroyed on this coin. I feel like this coin could do something like this. Or it can do something like this. Sub Qatar. I think it's a good place to scout. 221.5, I like that level. Yeah, this 290 level for XRP is pretty pivotal, but that $3 psychological level is also an extremely important level in my opinion. Obviously, the psychological level, the range is pretty much in between these two levels, so I don't actively trade XRP right now like I was back a few months ago. Or I was actually trading around here, but we're trying to get back above 291. We broke structure there, and we're retesting, trying to flip it right now. Most alts are gonna look like this. We see SOL look like this. That's just aggressive continuation. That just all relies on BTC aggressively moving back up. Wow. I think this is a good bid for BTC. 122.784. I'll bid that level. Let's see what Mikkel's saying. Yeah, I agree with him. He's not trying to force the market. We could easily take the highs, could easily take the lows. Right below that 124.5 resistance. I learned a lot of support resistance from him on the macro side, so I'm going to get back in my macro bag. That just takes a lot of patience and something that I need to have more of right now. But needless to say, I think a lot of opportunities when it comes to sitting on your hands and just letting things come to you. I think even ETH, like, I think this 43.80 level is good, the level that I wanted to be a little patient for. I think we could get that, which is why my alert's still there. We do see a good level of demand right here, but that was the deviation we flipped, and I don't think we should be retesting that level. This is a good chart to represent that deviation. Range, deviates, flips. Enough people are willing to bid here to impulsively push the price upwards. I don't feel like this level should be retested, so I feel like 43.80 should hold, which would be a sweep of where we're at right now on the 1 day. So maybe we get a push back up a little bit higher towards that 46.40, and then maybe a retest back down before ultimately flipping back up. Maybe something like this could be a plan to look out for in the next couple of days. Granted, we are approaching a 3-day weekend. We have Powell speaking tomorrow. I don't think that's really significant. CPI's next week. There's a potential and some things there. Oh, we don't even have an FOMC this month, so. Oh wait, was that something? Yeah. All right, so we have CPI next week. Not really too much going on economically wise this week. SO absolutely ripping in my face. Total is holding a good level. I spoke about this level of demand holding. We did hold those lows, so we SFP'd the low end of total demand on the 1 day, which is a good sign for the market as a whole. That was actually a really good hold. I didn't expect that so aggressively. Called that out yesterday. I should have trusted my plans. Did not trust my plans. Let's look at the heat maps. Oh, I like this 122.8 level. I'm gonna place a limit for that. Damn. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. My opinion, trading during the last downtrend was much easier to predict because of all the previous levels to reference. Now we're unknown area. I'm still new. Yeah, that's a good. I mean, I think that you're looking at it in a good way because previous price action is going to help you in the future. It always will because you have something to go off of. When price goes into levels of unknown, few traders could trade that really well. I mean, Aztecs is one of them. John is one of them. Like when price moves aggressively up like this, like when price falls to levels that retest, that's when things become a little bit more easier. Granted, we've been chopping around and it has been kind of difficult. We have good levels to play around. when you don't have levels at all, you don't really have anything except your intuition and continuation, like continuation patterns or continuation confluence, whether it be like targeting specific highs, liquidations. The RSI wants to print divergences. Wow. Just beautiful, man. Just a beautiful chart. Just a beautiful chart. Yeah, it's time to lock in, guys. It's time to lock in. I think we do things like this every week, stream twice a week, make some plans, and make some money. That's what I'm trying to do. But alright, guys, I'm going to get off. I recorded the stream for you. It's going to be up tomorrow morning. Check out my YouTube if you haven't. I appreciate you guys. Peace.